Are you ready?
A Shot of Wrestling, episode 249. And away we go.
Rachel get shot, boy. Is that the message you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot. Oh, so take a shot. Oh, yeah. I'm a street breaker. I'm a heartbreaker. This is my dawn. I'm a Ramon Razor. Rick Flair, Nature Boy, about to seek and destroy. It's an SOW. Let me hear you make noise. Take a shot, boy. Is that the message you got? We about to go live. Are you ready to rock? So take a shot.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 249 of A Shot of Wrestling. I'm your host at Michael J. Putty, joined, as always, Mr. Mark Schwann. Marcus, how you doing today?
How am I doing? Well, I was doing great until your lame introduction for me. Ladies and gentlemen, it is me, your favorite actor, the Hollywood assassin, Mark Schwann, joined by my co-host, Michael J. Putty. Putty, how are you doing today?
I'm great, thanks.
Wow, that was lackluster. Are we just going to sit in silence now? Is that it?
You just said in your half-assed, self-centered, egotistical intro, which I said I'm not going to do anymore because we're part of the show. You're not a guest. I want to get intros. But you said you're the host of the show, so go ahead. I'm just a co-host, so okay. I'll just laugh at your stupid jokes.
Wow, you're such a salty dog.
Good one, Marcus.
Actually, that would be a very good role for you.
Yeah, sit back, relax, just drink. It's fantastic. Let me show you this done, Mark. Marcus, we make no apology or try to hide the fact that we record the show Friday nights.
Yes.
Well, we are doing the same thing this week. It is March 26th, Friday, and it is mind-blowing. 20 years ago today, we were watching both Raw and Nitro when Vince McMahon was in the ring. All of a sudden, Shane comes out on Nitro and says the following.
The deal is finalized with WCW. And the name on the contract does say McMahon. However, the contract reads Shane McMahon.
Oh, my God! I don't believe it!
That's right. I now own WCW.
I think one of the most iconic moments in wrestling in my lifetime. One of the biggest moments ever. And I don't know how you top that, but 20 years ago today. 20 years ago. I'm old. We're old.
I can't believe that's 20 years ago. That was actually during a period when I actually stopped watching wrestling.
Oh, so you missed it?
I missed. Oh, I mean, I've seen obviously that clip
live
quite a few times, but I haven't seen it live. I wish I did, man. I wish I was watching wrestling regularly at that point. Still, like, I can only imagine watching it live, man. Like, I would have probably marked out. I probably would have fallen off my seat. Like that's a groundbreaking moment. That's not as if for people that weren't wrestling fans back then. That's even heavier if you can imagine. So then, saying hey, we just bought out AEW. I can imagine AEW fans freaking out over that. Back then, that was 10 times bigger.
Way bigger. The biggest, almost put them out of business, biggest rival. Because a couple of days ago, it was the 20th anniversary of Vince actually buying WCW. And 20 years ago today, it was made public on Raw and Nitro, the simulcast. Oh, man.
That was really cool. Yeah.
Moment I'll never forget. Again, I said this many times on the show. Every year this pops up. It's one time I felt like a champion. All my sports teams lose, so I never really had to really embrace winning anything before. But all my friends jumped ship to WCW. I was the only one guy. They kept making fun of me. And fuck them now. I'm still holding on some resentment, Marcus. I don't know if you can tell.
20 years later, still holding.
Yeah. It's still, again, the only thing I got going for me because no sports teams have won.
Yeah, well. Hey, listen, Miami made a bunch of moves today, man. Where they're going to set you up to look pretty nice for years to come.
We'll see, man. We'll see.
It all really depends on Tua. That's what it really comes down to. Can Tua be the quarterback that they hope him to be?
I don't know. I don't think they had too much hopes on this guy. But we'll see what happens.
It's crazy, man, because you remember they were saying tank for Tua, tank for Tua, tank for Tua. And then finally that year it comes out when he drafts, he actually falls down in the draft. Granted, he had that hip injury, but, he's not panning out. And then all we heard this year coming on to this year's draft, tank for Trevor, tank for Trevor, tank for Trevor. There's no guarantee that Trevor Lawrence is going to be the man. There's no guarantee that Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, Matt Jones, Trevor Lance. There's no guarantee any of those guys are going to pay off, man. It's just crazy to think that, they put all this stock into a player going into the draft, and it's all just a 50-50 shot.
Well, I won't say Tua hasn't paid off yet. It's just that the moves in the front office are making didn't seem like they are too confident with him.
The fact that trade rumors were coming up already is bad.
So my friend pointed out to me early in the season that they don't care. They're ready to give up on him. But now they have no choice because we're not going to trade all these picks for Deshaun Watson anymore.
No.
So we're stuck with Tua because my man Ryan Fitzmagic left to go to the Washington football team.
It's crazy that you're using. It's crazy the fact that you're using the term "stuck" with Tua.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's how I feel like the front office management feels. I'm willing to give him guy a chance. I give Ryan Tannehill a chance. He improved year after year after year.
Right.
My opinion, Tannehill still the man of Hill. So let's see what Tua does.
Listen, I think people just need to calm down a bit. Like, these are kids coming out of college, and they're expecting them to be superstars right away. Like, it happens. It can happen, but it's very rare when it does.
You were not all Russell Wilsons or Patrick Mahomes who won a Super Bowl in the second year.
Patrick Mahomes sat. Patrick Mahomes wasn't a starter right away. So, I mean, like, Aaron Rodgers sat for like a good year or two.
Well, that's supposed to be behind Brett Favre.
Right. But, like, I just don't get it. I think they're just setting up these kids to fail, and it's ridiculous, man. I even said I was very high on Sam Darnold when the Jets drafted him, and I even thought that he should have sat a year before he started. Like, I just don't get it. I think San Francisco is kind of doing it right. So apparently they're saying Jimmy G.
What's up, Jimmy J?
Yeah, what's up, Jimmy J? Jimmy G is going to be their man for 2021. That he's going to be the starter, and with the looks of his contract, that it looks like that makes financially sense. But with that trade, there's a lot of speculation of who they're going to draft. They're going to draft definitely a quarterback. I think maybe Justin Fields looks like a lock for Zach Wilson, number 2 to the Jets, or maybe Mac Jones for San Fran. But it looks like a quarterback. But it looks like whoever that quarterback is that they draft is going to sit a year behind Jimmy G, which I think is a smart move.
What's wrong with Jimmy G? Isn't he good? Like, I don't see what the trade rumors and hate for this guy all of a sudden.
I don't get it either. Like, granted, like, did he look like a $100 million player? There's a price that he's getting paid for in the Super Bowl. No, he did not. But he got them to the Super Bowl. He played well enough. His numbers weren't bad. They were pretty decent. I would say a little bit above average. And then, the next year, he's out for the season. Year after that, he's kind of banged up. Like, I think there's questions about his health more than anything right now. And I think it's just they're so quick to pull the plug. It's a shame because Jimmy G, I think, is a good quarterback. And I think, next year, or if they do pull the trigger this year to trade him, I think any team will be lucky to have him. Hint, hint, New England. I think that's a trade possibility there.
You're surprised if we signed Cam Newton.
Well, I mean, they have him for one more year, which also, I mean, say New England could go for Mac Jones, Trevor Lance. They're a spot when they could get probably realistically get Mac Jones.
Now, folks, I can probably leave, take a walk around the block, maybe go to the bathroom, get a drink, and leave Mark here talking about football nonstop. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
We delayed the start of the show for 20 minutes because he was rambling on about the draft order. Which is a
big
podcast
football guy over here.
Podcast I would not mind listening to. I love football as well, but this is a wrestling podcast, Marcus. How about we get into the news of the week?
Sure, I guess.
Love the enthusiasm.
It's time for In the News with Michael J. Putty and Mark Schwab.
All right, Putty. So Zach Wilson had his pro day today, and who? Oh, that's right. We're not doing football. I'm sorry. Okay, no, I was switching gears here. All right, Putty. So
is Zach a douche? I feel like all Zachs are douches.
He looks like a douche.
Yeah, I figured.
He does look like a douche. I just want to. I'm trying to accept the fact that he's going to be the next Jets quarterback, but I just want to punch him in the face.
Wrestling.
So, yeah, wrestling. So, Charlotte Flair has tested positive for COVID-19.
Back to football. Back to football.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there were a lot of rumors circulating about her absence, and with Andrade granted his release, she took to Twitter to update the fans of her status. Could we possibly see a WrestleMania without Charlotte Flair? How would that look? I mean, there was rumors that she was supposed to show up in SmackDown tonight. Obviously, that didn't happen. So it's looking like it's going to be the case. No Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania.
Thank God that didn't happen tonight. Again, Friday night, doing the show. She was going to come in. The Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair match was going to be a triple threat. Why?
Well, no. They didn't necessarily say that. That was the rumor I heard.
That was the rumor I heard.
That was rumor. No.
Earlier today,
I didn't hear anything about that. That's what fan speculation was.
No, I heard on several sites. Earlier today, there was rumors maybe Carmella to end that feud, but then everyone going into Friday Night SmackDown was triple threat, Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks. Which didn't make any sense, so I didn't see it happening. But also, no, it didn't make sense. Charlotte Flair getting forced into our face against Ronda Rousey and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 35.
Listen, my man, that made more sense than what we have with Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. That makes no sense. That feels
we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that.
No. I think it's the same thing. I think it's important that we point that out.
No, because Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch was a set match. That was the plan. All of a sudden, Charlotte Flair gets thrown in. She didn't win the Royal Rumble. She wasn't the number one contender for anything. Becky Lynch won the Royal Rumble. She challenged Ronda Rousey. How the hell did Vince McMahon all of a sudden come out and say, "Oh, I want Charlotte Flair involved instead"?
It made more sense of the fact that Charlotte Flair had the rivalry with Becky Lynch all throughout the year, and also had that match with Ronda Rousey and ended in DQ.
A match
made more sense. No. Made more sense than what we're seeing right now with Rhea Ripley and Asuka. I'm just saying, and I'm a fan of both. I'm just saying, I wish that we had a little bit more of a lead up into WrestleMania, because I really feel like this could be a marquee match, but instead it's just going to be thrown together, and I don't care.
I feel like it'll still be a good match. Everyone loves Rhea Ripley. She's riding the coattail of her reputation.
Who cares?
A lot of people do.
Give me a story. Give me a story.
Stories. Can we get a shot every time you say the word story?
Do you not care about a good storyline? You just want to see good matches? Is that it? You said yourself, I'm going to quote you from last week. I'm going to quote you from last week when you said it, when you didn't like the Indies going into this because it was just matches that were thrown together, no story, no build to it. That's what you said last week, and that's what we're getting right now. Rhea Ripley versus Asuka, no story, no build, just a match thrown together. It's WrestleMania. It's Super Bowl season for them. This is the time for all the major storylines to come together. Instead, you're just getting cookie cutter bullshit. That's what you're getting.
But it's not like Rhea Ripley's a nobody. I'm
not saying she's a nobody.
She was the face of NXT. Everyone wanted her to come to the main roster. Everyone wanted to get her involved in the title picture. Now we're getting what we want. Okay, we'll see what happens. We have 2 weeks now to some sort of story.
So why does Rhea Ripley get the pass, but Charlotte doesn't? That's what I'm wondering.
Pass for
what?
Because
Rhea Ripley's just better liked. That's it.
Pass for what?
Yeah, pass for something being thrown together. Meanwhile, you're ripping apart possibly Charlotte Flair being thrown into a match with Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, which I wouldn't have liked either, by the way. Yeah. I just want to stress that out. But you're giving Rhea Ripley a pass. You're not going to give Charlotte a pass.
Because this is an up-and-comer, the face of a division. Everyone's behind. Everyone's looking forward to her future. Getting a shot to shine at the main event. A main event at WrestleMania. Bianca Belair won the fucking Royal Rumble. Okay, great. But they had actually a couple of weeks to do this story with Sasha Banks. Charlotte Flair getting involved in that match makes no sense. I was happy they did not go as planned. Charlotte Flair not being at WrestleMania. Okay, great. That sucks. Now's a chance for Bianca Belair to step up. Now's a chance for Rhea Ripley to step up and see what they can do. Here's your spotlight. She's giving step back.
Whether you like it or not, it's like the Patrick Mahomes is the NFL. Charlotte Flair is to the WWE. She is a main event player. She is an all-star. Whether you like her or you hate her, you can't deny the fact she is that damn good.
No, absolutely. But you say the Super Bowl won't be the same thing without Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl?
It depends.
No, it's called Aaron Rodgers. It's called Tom Brady. There's other stars who get a chance to shine. Russell Wilson. He wasn't really anybody big until he got the chance to sign at the Super Bowl, and look what happened to that. So now it's time Bianca Belair to step up. Rhea
So
Ripley
you
step
mean
up.
tell me you want to see a Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn match that was just thrown together, overseeing someone like Charlotte Flair? And no disrespect to those two, but the fact is Charlotte Flair is a much higher league than those two right now.
Yeah, I don't care about the storyline either. I mean, good for them.
Right.
Good for them. Good friends growing up. I'm sure they always talk about, let's go one-on-one at WrestleMania, like behind the scenes stuff.
And
like, that's cool.
again, that's something. Yes, they have great history. I love the chemistry together. I wish I would have seen a bigger build going into WrestleMania here. That's it. The same with Rhea Ripley and Asuka. It would be amazing, especially if Rhea Ripley is going to win that match. It would be amazing if we had a better build to it, so we get people more invested. You
can't really fault them for the lack of build or lack of story with this, because I'm assuming
I'm not faulting the wrestlers. I'm faulting creative.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm assuming this wasn't the plan going into WrestleMania season. I'm assuming the plan was Charlotte Asuka, but she has COVID. There's no guarantee when she'll be ready to go. So this is just a fallback plan. Let's go with Rhea Ripley. Give fans what they want, because everyone wants.
You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen then. Rhea Ripley's going to lose, and people are going to be bitching and moaning again, like they did last year.
Well, Mark, people love to bitch and moan.
People love to bitch and moan.
So you don't think she'll win? You don't think she'll win at all?
Rhea Ripley? No.
Yeah. Why?
No. It's just it would take away from her shine right now. Oh, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't with her right now.
Same thing. That's what I'm saying.
You really are. You really are. That's why I really don't want this match to happen. I really would have rathered. Actually, honestly, I probably would have rathered a multi-woman match, a gauntlet match, or maybe something on a kickoff show. Granted, you have to have Asuka in there. She's the women's champion.
Yeah.
You have to have her defend it. Obviously, yes, you're right. Plans went all to hell with this, but it's instead of getting this match could easily have a better build going to SummerSlam, and you could have a real match happen with a real story, and it wouldn't hurt either one. But this, I just feel like it does more bad than good for Rhea Ripley, no matter what.
Oh. Ted Cruz just appeared on my TV. I threw up in my mouth a little bit. Excuse me.
I can't blame
This
him.
should be a good match. We'll see what happens. I'm expecting the best. So good luck to them. And if Charlotte can come back in some capacity, see what happens.
I mean, WrestleMania is like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks now. There's no point in having her. There's no point in having her. It's going to look very different. It's going to be weird. It's not having Charlotte Flair on there, but we'll see what happens. Maybe she gets involved somehow to win that match. Maybe she interferes. Maybe then it leads to a bigger program going to SummerSlam or whatever, into the next pay-per-view. I don't know.
There's been WrestleManias without Triple H. There's been WrestleManias without John Cena. We'll be okay. It'll still be a good show, but the best they can do, and I'm expecting it to be awesome.
You always have high hopes for WWE.
Like you said,
so NXT,
like I mentioned 10 minutes ago, I should. I have the history to back me up. Okay, they always deliver, and they'll deliver again.
Romanfeld wants to. NXT looks like they'll officially make the switch to Tuesdays after their next takeover. They would have been going head-to-head with Impact, but they are moving nights too. Starting April 8th, Impact will move to Thursday nights. Now, is this some sort of weird chess game going on here within these promotions? Because there's a lot of moving pieces here. Putty, what do you think?
Hell yeah, man. What did we say when we found out NXT was rumored to be going to Tuesday nights? Oh man, poor Impact.
Poor Impact. You're right.
Impact,
they were going to get crushed.
Has got a lot of momentum going, especially they're on a fucking shitty D-list network. Not everybody. Access TV's not even every single market.
Do you see them staying on?
They are simulcast on Twitch.
Do you see them staying on Access much longer?
Yeah, Anthem owns Access. That's the only reason they're on TV. Or if they'd be in that fucking G-list network that Streams and Guardians Fishing Network that nobody had, which is why they are on Twitch.
I remember you bitching that. I remember you bitching about that.
So yes, growing up, Mark, me and you were the same era. Thursday night was must-see TV, the biggest night of the week for TV. I think it's not the same anymore. Thursday is a big night of TV. A lot of big shows are on TV. A lot of marketing, advertising, big shows go on Thursday night. So it is.
But there's a lot of DVRing. There's a lot of streaming. So it is different. You're right.
So it's not the most ideal night to go on, but there's no other options. So awesome. They had a good run on Thursday nights years ago. We're back on Thursday nights. Good for them. I mean, it's a smart-ass move. Smart move.
They had to do it. It's going to be interesting, man. There's no more Wednesday night wars. There's going to be no more any type of wars, really.
Nope.
So it's going to be wrestling literally every night of the week.
Every night, Monday through Friday.
Very interesting, man. I really wonder how it's going to do with ratings-wise, especially with NXT, AEW. I wonder if their numbers are going to go up. Impact, I don't really see the numbers changing all that much with them. Maybe if, this whatever alliance that they have with AEW and New Japan, maybe that can help them out.
I want to talk about it on TV, but let's stop calling it an alliance.
They have some sort of agreement going on. I mean, there's no denying that.
How many times we hear AEW this, AEW that on Impact? Yet when I watch Dynamite, barely any mention of Impact. There's absolutely zero. I think with one reference of Kenny Omega vying for the championship. You think that'd be a bigger deal? They barely mention Impact at all, but yet Impact's always talking about AEW. So what partnership is this?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Anyway, I don't want to waste too much time for the news, but
it looks like the Good Brothers are a little bit on the outs with Kenny Omega, possibly. So I don't necessarily know how that's going to play out.
Yeah, and the Good Brothers are the only thing on AEW Impact related.
Right.
There's nobody's coming from AEW to Impact except Kenny Omega. That's whatever.
I would love to see the Knockouts go into the AEW Women's Division. I think that would be fire.
You mentioned that a couple weeks ago. Yeah, I agree with you. So this doesn't seem like an AEW Impact Award. It seems like a Kenny Omega building his boys thing. It's like, okay.
And the tag teams, too, man. Killer tag teams. I think there's a lot of great crossover moments that they have here.
Potential, yeah. They take advantage of it.
And it seems like, again, like they're playing the long game here with this. It's not necessarily like, something that's just going to be like, a short little stint. It seems like this is – I was wrong. It doesn't look like it's going to be a war. It seems like there's some sort of, hey, come as you please type of thing. Because now you also have, like, New Japan. Like, you have new tag team champions.
Yeah.
With Gin and Juice.
Laid back. With my mind on my money and my money on my mind.
Or Finn and Juice.
Finn Juice.
Finn Juice.
Too many shots of wrestling for you.
Yeah, too many. So, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know if that'll necessarily help out Impact. Maybe along the way, depending how long this whole alliance lasts. It seems like they're opening the door with NWA as well. So I don't really know.
What's going to happen with these paid advertisements, Mark? Hyping up the next night on Dynamite. Are these going to go away?
I hope so, man, because it's kind of getting old. Like, you'd expect them to do a little something more.
Again, it's getting old. Said they're shitting, making fun of Impact, and there's no reason why, because there's no follow through on it. It's just them being dicks.
Unless maybe something happens here if Kenny Omega wins, which most likely he will against Rich Swann.
He's winning.
And maybe from there, you see some sort of retaliation from Impact. Maybe.
Doubt it. And Kenny Omega on Impact was thinking about he gets 2 more belts. Are they really going to keep the TNA belt around? It serves its purpose. Have just Rich Swann holding Impact. We don't need the TNA belt anymore. I don't see Kenny Omega with 3 fucking belts. I'm sorry.
Well, he technically has 4.
On TV, he only has 1 right now. He doesn't carry the AAA one around.
Right.
Anyway.
Oh, and AAA is another one that they seem to be working with too. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's interesting to see all these strategic moves. It's definitely good for wrestling fans. There's more wrestling to be spread out all across the board here. I'm very curious to see what happens in ratings. I'm very curious to see how that goes.
I mentioned a couple weeks ago the rumor was NXT going to Tuesday nights, and you didn't bring it up in your news because you don't want to talk about rumors, which I agree because I don't like to talk about that either. But props to Impact for not agreeing with us, following these rumors, and as soon as it wasn't even officially announced yet, though. They're already stepping out of the game and saying we're going to move nights. Good for them. Smart move.
Well,
smart business move.
I'm sure they have better intel than we did. Right now,
speak for yourself. I've been doing this for 5 years. Speak for yourself.
Well, we were going off of dirt sheets and whatnot. They could be reliable, but a lot of times, they could just be bullshit, as we talked about with Charlotte Flair rumors.
Thank God.
But obviously, the actual people that work at these promotions, they definitely have better intel. So Impact definitely, they knew what was going on. So obviously they felt like they had to make that move. And I think it's a smart move. But going on, the Bella Twins are looking to make one last run as in-ring competitors. Reportedly, they are set to make their return some point this fall. How much of an impact do you think they will have? It looks like they're aiming for those tag team championships in the women's division. Will that help?
We talked about this a couple months ago, maybe earlier last year. You didn't see it happening because of injuries. I'm like, I can see it happening. I can see them protecting Nikki Bella. There's a way they could protect them, no problem. So now the rumor is coming more and more prevalent.
It's looking like it's going to be a thing. Yeah, this looks like pretty much a guarantee.
I haven't changed my stance. I agree with it. It'll bring some sort of, no disrespect to anybody currently on the roster, but legitimacy to the fucking tag team titles. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are throwing it together. Lately, they're doing some more of it, but they haven't really done much with the tag team titles with them. Same thing with their Iconics. Surprisingly, didn't do much with the tag team titles. So it brings some legitimacy to these titles.
And then also what you're
credibility.
They added the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship, where they actually have real tag teams over there.
Yeah.
So like that now, that's split apart from the main roster.
Yeah, so now it's just Raw and SmackDown. Okay.
So now it's just Raw and SmackDown with no actual real teams. And it's actually, I feel like it's hurting the championship.
We get Natalya and Tamina forming some sort of team, and I think that's end of list. Oh, yeah, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. That's end of list, I think. So you have 2 tag teams on 2 shows. Other than that, like there's no tag teams.
No.
So again, give it to a legit tag team, a legendary, iconic tag team everyone loves, or people love to hate. Protect them, give them a short run with it, bring some sort of credibility to it, and see what happens.
A short run, indeed. Now, I want to read you off.
Maybe pass the torches to the next tag team. Dana Brooke or Mandy Rose, just whatever.
Like a real tag team. I want to read off some tweets here because we put this up on Twitter. No, stay retired and stop taking the spotlight in spots of other women who work their ass off all year long to be there.
Fair point.
That's from #Woken Pro Wrestling. Another one, Jason Knight. Respectfully disagree, but I see your point. Creative does not make an effort to use the tag team division to develop stars or anything except story fodder.
That comment can go forward, not just the women division, but tag teams in general.
Right, exactly. Trent D says, yes, they deserve those titles. They can help the tag team division and have more focus on it. Rick Recon, nah. At Late and Confused, some may see this as Brie and Nikki possibly hogging focus from the other women on the rosters, but maybe a shortish run could help with A, giving some legitimacy to the women's tag team belts, and B, help the few women's tag teams around. That's just my 2 cents. And I agree with her. I agree with Brittany. I think here's the thing. The Bellas, you love them or hate them, they have a very established brand. They have a big following, the Bella Army. They have people following them that aren't necessarily even wrestling fans or new wrestling fans. So, you see them, say, on their new show, on what's the name of their show? I'm blanking out here. Total Bellas. Thank you. I don't drink anymore. I only drink with you, buddy. Total Bellas or on their podcast. You see them with these shiny new belts on there. Obviously they're going to talk about their story of being the women's tag team champions. And I think that'll draw more eyes to it and maybe help the teams better their game. And maybe the Bellas could pass on their knowledge of tag team wrestling off to these women wrestlers. I don't know, man. I think they got to try something. I think they need to switch it up because I think they're like stone's throw away from this championship going away like it did last time.
Give it to the Bellas, and this is your chance to control Alt Elite, reset your women's division, form actual tag teams, and let's see what happens. Like, just give it to a real tag team or legendary Hall of Fame worthy tag team now by the time they come in.
Right.
Reevaluate your roster. You got the potential is there. With the women, you have a great roster of women. The potential is there. Just, you got to think about it now.
Honestly, man, the only other team that I would say would be worthy of getting these belts right now would be Natalya and Beth Phoenix.
Yeah. Oh, well, they're not a team, but I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, they were a team.
They were. Yeah. But I don't see that happening.
No, I don't see that happening. I mean, Beth Phoenix, phenomenal shape. She could obviously come back if she wanted to, but they're more of a team. They're more of a team than anything else that we see right now. The Bella Twins, again, they get a lot of hate, and I think it's unwarranted hate. But they can do a lot of justice here. I think
Give it to the Bellas. Give them a nice rivalry, nice feud with fucking Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. The only really tag team got going on, really.
They would definitely have to be heels.
The Bellas, I think they want to be heels.
Yeah, I think they enjoy being heels for sure.
Yeah, who doesn't? Heels awesome. Well, it comes naturally to you. I guess you maybe don't know.
But people just need to relax, stop with the hate.
It was kind of fucked up. They do introduce the tag team titles once they leave. You know,
Right.
they would definitely have gotten it when they were around.
Exactly, man. They're a worthy team to have it. They're an actual team.
Yep.
Throw some twin magic in there. Let's go, bro.
Yeah, man.
All right, but Putty, that's all I have for the news. Do you have anything else to add?
Mark, I turned you on to Impact.
Facts.
So if you want to listen to me again, now's the time to do it. Rumors, again, hate talking about rumors, Mark, but it's really got me excited when I read this. Potentially a relaunch of Lucha Underground. Oh, yes, please. Can't wait. Oh, man. Love Lucha Underground when it was back in the day. Sad to see it go. Left on such a cliffhanger. It won't be Lucha Underground. It'll be a different name. Lucha Underground closed in 2018 due to budget reasons. And at that time, color commentary Vampiro said 90% of the roster is in AEW. The other 10% is the WWE. The writers are gone. The production crew is gone. The company is split. I would put my money on saying it's over. It's done. How hard is it to get a production company or crews to film like for 3 days in a warehouse in LA? I'm sure there's people around. So I'll be following this story very closely. Hopefully Lucha Underground, whatever they're fucking going to call it now, comes back. I'm excited. More wrestling, man. Let's do this. Because what a launch pad it was for these guys who see Luchasaurus, Ricochet, Taya Valkyrie, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Mundo at the time.
Hey, man, I mean, listen, the more wrestling, the better. There's a lot of wrestlers out there, so it's not necessarily just, people that are signed. There's a lot of indie talent out there that could come on board. So
plus the names we just mentioned were also nobodies until they found a spot in national TV, and look what happened to them. So
hey, I'd be for it. They need a commentary team. Let's go.
Let's go. Do you want to talk about?
Buddy, would you get off your ass for that?
Absolutely. I'm excited about it. Let's do this. Imagine Lucha Underground. We're in the temple, seeing Rick Recon
Hardly anything
go for the trios champion, Rick Recon, and the East Coast Syndicate trios champions. Marcus.
Well, let's get it straight, man. I wouldn't be doing commentary with you. I'd be out there with him because I'm their manager. So
in BCW, BWF, you are, but Lucha Underground, whatever it's going to be called, you never know, Mark.
Never know.
I can
never
be the manager.
No, you can never be their manager.
I tried. I could do it. You never know. Big congratulations to Kane on inducting to the Hall of Fame. Well deserved. Again,
totally well deserved.
What a waste. He could also headline another year. And
I don't think Kane can headline another year. I don't think Kane can headline.
I think Kane can. I think that's a conversation in a couple years.
Hey, how do you feel about your boy Batista dropping out?
I mean, he didn't drop out because he didn't want it. He didn't get kicked out either. For some reason, there's scheduling conflicts. Like, this is going to be pre-taped. You can't do it, like, now.
Apparently, he wants to do it in front of a crowd.
That's the thing that I thought. Good, because I want to be there for it. So, good. Can't wait. Maybe you have to take a trip to Dallas or LA, Mark, to see Batista get inducted into the Hall of Fame.
My wife asked me recently, is Putty done with his streak for WrestleMania? Is he going to go to this one? I said, I don't think he's going to go to this one, but I also don't think his streak is going to be over. Well,
the streak is over then, because if I don't go to this one.
Oh, that's true. But I don't think you're done, like, necessarily going to WrestleMania.
We'll see what happens. A lot of shit going on in personal life, finances. Do I want to go alone? I was going to go alone last year. I was ready to go. Now, do I really want to? I mean, I don't mind going to LA or Dallas. Guess it depends on the city, who I want to go with. I mean, I'm, for the most part, thinking it's done. The streak's over. I'm done. But now it's like, let's see what happens year by year. Because a friend of mine...
Batista goes to Hall of Fame, you're there.
Yeah. No question. Because I got to buy the fucking shirt. I got to go to the meet and greet. A good friend of mine...
What if Batista's a dick?
He doesn't seem like a dick.
What if he is, though?
He doesn't seem like one.
Oh, my God. You're going to need, like, counseling, like, hardcore.
No, I absolutely love and admire and respect the hell out of Jerry Seinfeld, but he seems like a dick. I heard Jerry Seinfeld's a dick. Way off topic. Plus, just, anyway, who cares? Let's wrap it up. Any more in the news? We could be here all night talking about Batista and Hall of Fame. I could be here like I've been waiting for like 5 years to talk about this, but
all right, we can move on, my man.
But before we get to this week's TV Takedown, Mark, I hear Hollywood Corner is back.
Hollywood's Corner is back, Putty. And this week's guest is a favorite of yours. I have Brother Greatness on.
Were you a dick to him? It's a bit about being a dick.
I was not a dick to him. You're going to hear the interview, man. You'll actually be pleasantly surprised. I gave him a lot of props. Here's a clip.
I think a lot of people would say in industry that you're an under-the-radar type of talent. What does that mean to you, and why do you think that's the case?
I definitely would agree with that statement. I don't know how many times I've gone and worked a new show at a new promotion, and maybe saw someone whose name might be a little bit more out there than my own, work a match and they're working the match against me or is the match before me and gets to see what I did. And I come backstage and they're just like, wow, you're really good. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you. And then they pause and go, no, like, you're really good. Why aren't you working at the larger big name promotions? Like, why aren't you there? And I question everything. I'm questioning, is it because I put Christianity at the forefront of what I'm doing? Is it the wrestling style I'm doing? I'm not the flippy dippy guy. I fly around a lot, but I wouldn't call myself Mr. Flippy Dippy. The 450 splash has never been in my arsenal. Could be, but never utilized it. I question if it's because because of my start in wrestling. I was at Ludus. There's a lot of stuff that goes with that. BWF had a very poor reputation up until about 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know if that's because I have that connection. So I have no idea what the problem is. And although I'm famous enough through Christ, in 2021, I'm definitely going to change that. And I think a lot of that's going to have to do with the presentation of how I deliver what I'm all about. That's not going to change, but instead of it being more for the audience to be able to easily digest, I'm going to now make it more of an adult message, very direct and very easier to get you there, but not as easy to digest.
Brother Greatness, are we talking about a heel turn possibly?
So, Putty, I mean, you heard from Brother Greatness looking to make some major changes. And I dare ask at the end, is he going to turn heel? He answers that question on the interview itself and more, talking about his career, about the changes that he's looking to do with his character on Hollywood's Corner, premiering this Tuesday at 9 a.m.
Can't wait. Brother Greatness as a heel, I think would be freaking amazing. So I can't wait to listen to how he answered that question. I can't wait. Tuesdays, Shot of Wrestling, no way on YouTube. 9 o'clock, you said, right?
9 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time.
Thanks for the clarification. All right, now we can finally get some TV Takedown.
It's time for this week's TV Takedown.
All right, Mark, let's start with Payback. Fastlane.
You mean
I
Fastlane?
keep calling it Payback. This whole week I've been calling it Payback for some fucking reason. Don't know why. Fastlane.
You said it with such confidence. You're like, yeah, man, Payback.
Yeah, it's like writing, what am I going to talk about fucking Payback about? It's not Payback, it's the other thing.
Are you even a real wrestling fan? Like, what?
Oh, no, I've been faking this the whole time. I just read stuff people post online. I see my voice out there. It's for my real. Fastlane. Marcus, what do you got for me? I'm assuming I know what you're going to pick, but go ahead.
What do you think I'm going to pick?
The Fiend's back. The Fiend. No, let's talk about the Fiend.
Actually, no, I'm not picking that douche. So there's some guy named Roman Reigns. I don't know if you've heard of him. Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan match. The match itself, I thought was really damn good. These two have definitely great chemistry in that ring together. Told a very good story. It was cool to see actually Roman Reigns tap out for the first time in his career.
Great. Kind of saw that happening though, right?
Yeah, especially when he said I'd rather die than tap out. See someone like you.
I love how they did that.
That made me think. All right, you're going to tap out somehow. I feel like honestly, the way it ended was kind of predictable. Personally, but overall, I mean, Fastlane, I hate to say it, but it didn't wow me at all, and it was very hard to pick a good moment from this. And I have to say, the match itself was the one thing that stood out for me throughout the rest of the night. Now, obviously, that triple threat is going to happen. Who do you have, Putty? Who do you think is going to win this?
At WrestleMania?
No, Putty, at Payback.
Because we're talking about Fastlane right now, so I don't know. We're jumping ahead. I guess we'll jump ahead.
We're jumping ahead.
I forgot you're the host. That's right. So, if you listen to the show 2 weeks ago, I kind of called it. I said, I'm not buying into this Roman Reigns Edge feud. I'd rather see Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan and watch them turn it into a triple threat match. That way you can take the belt off fucking Roman Reigns without him losing.
No, he did say it. He called it.
I don't know who's going to win here, but I know it's not Daniel Bryan. I totally feel like Daniel Bryan's going to take the loss here. Him losing doesn't hurt him. That's why you keep Roman Reigns strong. You keep Edge strong. It just depends. Do they want to take the belt off Roman Reigns and have him chase the title for a while? I can see that happening too. Because you don't want to get him to be the champion for too long. and get stale and boring, maybe have him try to chase for a little bit. But I thought he would hold on until SummerSlam. Then again, who beats him at SummerSlam? There's so many questions, Marcus. But Daniel Bryan's going to lose. I would not be surprised if Edge pins Daniel Bryan. I wanted to mention it a couple weeks ago, which led me to think about the triple threat match, is how I love they incorporated Daniel Bryan slowly into this rivalry.
Yeah, no, they did. I feel like they did a good job incorporating Daniel Bryan into this.
What a great! This is one of the best stories we've gotten going into WrestleMania.
No, for sure. It's a shame it's very obvious that WWE is capable of putting on good stories and having a good pacing along to go with it. So that's why it just pisses me off when I see stuff, as I ranted earlier before, things just like thrown together, which could have a good buildup. But whatever, we talked about that before, but we're going to talk about this now. I think Roman Reigns is going to win this match. I think he has to win this match. Roman Reigns, he's obviously the guy in WWE. He's obviously the main villain in WWE, and he's doing a damn good job at it. His stock keeps on soaring up and up and up. Edge and Daniel Bryan, they could win this. There are reasons why people could say they both deserve it, but I think Roman Reigns needs it the most. That's what I'm going to say here with that. I think Roman Reigns definitely needs the most to show how badass villain he is, because I think there's expectations of him losing at WrestleMania, because usually you see the culmination of WrestleMania being the good guys winning usually, and you get that that big celebration at the end. Whether it's you're rooting for Edge, the grizzled vet, to finally get what he never really lost to begin with, or you see Daniel Bryan, the underdog part 2 coming in there and wowing the fans, someone that's been there, as some would say. But I see Roman Reigns going to a SummerSlam with this thing, man. I think. As the way they're building Big E right now, I think Big E could be the guy that could eventually take down Roman Reigns.
Again, something I said last year, you disagree with me, so I guess I should be tired of being right.
Now, we answer who we think is going to win. Who do you want to win, though?
But going back before I answer that question, every week I said earlier, your storyline. Give me a story. Give me a story. Roman Reigns losing here, losing the belt, without being involved in the decision. Isn't that a different element to the story? Like him getting back what rightfully his? Yeah,
but then you're looking more from a face standpoint for him, chasing the belt to get it back. I think that's more.
Still could be a heel. Still be a dick. I don't know what's going fucking Edge is. Edge is heel now? Is he tweener?
I was going to ask you, man. It's hard to determine that when you don't have a live audience there. I feel like even WWE doesn't know what they want to do, because they're phoning in the noise, and you hear mostly cheers. Edge's actions are kind of more heelish, but I find myself
obsessed,
agreeing with what Edge is doing. Hey, Daniel Bryan fucked you up. Daniel Bryan hit you with a chair, man. It kind of reminds me back when Shawn Michaels was guest reffing at SummerSlam, Undertaker versus Bret Hart for the championship.
It's good times.
Do you remember that moment?
Of course, yes.
Where Shawn turned heel because of Bret Hart accidentally hit him with a chair. And, I found myself, sympathizing more so with Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, of course, had to retaliate. Shawn Michaels, of course. Bret Hart hit him with a chair. So, I'm kind of getting the similar vibes here. So, I don't necessarily know where that goes. But, hell, man, I think they're having us ask these questions, and I think they're doing a good job with that, because it's making us invested. Yeah, the story.
This is probably one of the best storylines going into WrestleMania. I'm looking forward to.
Yeah,
night 1 too. We're getting it right away. Awesome.
Right. Exactly.
So that was one of my takedowns for Payback. No, Fastlane as well. I keep going to Payback. I still don't fucking why. We've already spoken about most of it. You said already, but someone on Twitter posted, and I quote, "I thought from a performance standpoint, Bryan reminded us of why he is truly one of the best wrestlers in the world. Bryan was exceptional here. It's a nice reminder of how amazing Bryan is when he gets a chance to have these big matches." And I couldn't have bet it myself. That was a great way to summarize what I just saw. Daniel Bryan, like I said, I think he's going to be a trooper. He's going to take the loss here. And Daniel Bryan I'm never been a big Daniel Bryan fan.
Really?
Yeah, never been behind him at all.
Oh, wow. Why?
Yeah, just never really connected with him. Never really clicked.
Even he's a B+ player. I mean, I figured that you would relate.
He's rival with The Miz. I'm a Miz fan. going at the authority in Triple H. I'm a Triple H fan. Batista, Randy Orton, I'm a Evolution fan. So like he never got into a storyline I was behind him on. Loved him, watching him, respecting the hell of him, but as a character, I never got behind him.
Okay, well, dude, actually, surprisingly, I was always very much behind him.
Yeah, you seem like that fucking type, nerd. But since you mentioned that, I have a backup. Awesome match, just like their ones on Raw. It's clearly chemistry between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. That match was kind of fun to watch. I mean, I hate to give credit to Sheamus as all, because, he's my arch nemesis right now. But some impressive spots, great match, great storytelling. It was like a good match.
Yeah, those two beat the hell out of each other. I mean, honestly, going into it, there was going to be no surprise that Drew McIntyre was going to win. But even still, I mean, those guys put on a show. They definitely have the scars to prove it on how tough they are. And now, we see Drew McIntyre going against Bobby Lashley again. Surprise, surprise. WrestleMania.
Surprised they announced it before this match. I thought this match would be like a number one contender match.
Right.
They announced it beforehand. I'm like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, but they had to, like, again, us knowing that they have to have Drew McIntyre going to a strong. You think Drew McIntyre is going to recapture the gold?
No. Too soon.
Really?
Too soon. You put so much money in this new intro for Bobby Lashley, the new tagline, Almighty Bobby Lashley. Just for him to lose it in 2 months? A month? I think you got to have Bobby Lashley retain here.
Wow. Because, I mean, they're building up Drew McIntyre to be, like, again, the guy in WWE, but clearly, I mean, Roman Reigns took that right back. And now you just find Drew McIntyre kind of trying to find his place still. I feel like he ever since he lost to Roman Reigns, he's took a few steps back as far as stardom goes.
Going back to this match, you said it was predictable. We knew Drew McIntyre was going to win. Yes, of course we did. There's a theme I've talked about since the beginning of the show. Yes, it's predictable. I hate when a match is predictable, but yet if they can still suck me into the match and like make me enjoy the match and forget that I know who's going to win, you have a good match, and this checked all those boxes for me.
1,000%.
Do you quickly want to talk about the Fiend? We do not have to. But I know you're a Fiend guy. Do you want to talk about the Fiend here?
I'm a big Fiend guy. I mean, it was predictable that we knew he was going to come back. I thought it was interesting the way how they changed his look. It was definitely creepy and weird as all hell, especially on Raw with what we saw there. It was good to see him back. The Alexa Bliss match, Randy Orton match, if you want to really call it that, Fastlane. I mean, we kind of figured, this is going to be shenanigans to go down. None of it really surprised me. I think the big surprise really was the Fiend's new look. And I'm hoping, actually, I think it goes with the storyline. I just hope that it is kind of like more of like a short-term thing.
Yes, thank you. Hate it. Oh, so stupid.
I didn't necessarily say I didn't necessarily agree with that.
First of all,
hate it.
I'm not a big Fiend fan either, right? I've never been. Don't try to hide it here.
No, I mean, Bray Wyatt, he knows that. He called you out on that.
But now, you burn him alive in the middle of the ring. Then he comes back, burned up, deformed, looking fucking gross.
Continuity. It's great.
Yeah, awesome, great. One, does that mean Bray Wyatt's dead? I don't see Bray Wyatt coming back, the Funhouse guy. I don't see him coming back at all.
I don't necessarily know if they need him to come back.
No, I don't think you do. I just don't see him coming back. You don't need to come back.
Because you have Alexa Bliss there, I mean.
So he now gets to this rivalry with Randy Orton. Now what does he do? You have this burned up monstrosity of a monster. I don't see him feuding with Drew McIntyre for the title. I don't see him feuding with Riddle for the United States Championship. No. I don't think he needs a championship at all, by the way. That's just I'm just throwing names out there.
I agree with that, too.
Now you have this burnt, disgusting monstrosity, this monster, who is disgusting, died, came back from the dead, and now he's a face? They just growing up, what I know about monster movies, this doesn't seem to fucking fit the mold.
I was going to think that, too. I mean, I'm rooting for him. I'm very much behind him, but as
I can't see him dressed like he is, really this look he has, going past his rivalry.
But, I mean, people love horror, man. I mean, there's a huge audience for horror.
So then he's going to be he's going to be a character that comes once every 3-4 months.
I don't know.
Because he doesn't seem like a legit everyday character. We're not going to see the Fiend, this burned up Fiend on Raw every week, like we would see Bray Wyatt, which is something I didn't like, but I like the fact that you see the dichotomy there. You didn't see the Fiend every week, but you saw Bray Wyatt every week. Because and the announcers never made any mention of the fact that Bray Wyatt was this inhuman person. They were blatant the fact that this is Bray Wyatt wearing a mask. This is his alter ego.
Right. This is the Fiend.
Yeah, this is alter ego. That's Bray Wyatt wearing a mask. That's his alter ego. But now, what's going on with this fucking burned up Fiend? Like, what's going on here? What's going on past WrestleMania? You can't keep this character alive past WrestleMania.
No, you can't. I agree with you in that. You can't. And
but how do you go back to the Fiend? The regular Fiend.
I think honestly, with something like this, I mean, it is a supernatural character. And I hear people saying there's no room for supernatural in wrestling. Listen, we've seen it with the Undertaker. He did a fantastic job with that. We've seen it with
many times,
Baba Shango. Like, we've seen it a bunch of times. And it works. Stop.
Yeah.
But you just have to make it make sense.
Yeah, I feel like they backed themselves on the corner here. Backed themselves into a corner.
I feel like you're right, and I've said a few times. I feel like, with a character like this, you really can't do any wrong. There's no really wrong answer with this, but I don't necessarily know how I get out of this booking right here with this, and how to, get the Fiend past this Randy Orton storyline.
I don't see this Fiend going against Miz. I mean, quote unquote, loosely termed zombie.
Does Alexa Bliss do some sort of spell again or something? I don't necessarily know, man.
Does he a plastic surgeon?
Like, listen, I think the thing is, you just got to take it 1 week at a time with this and see what happens. Because, honestly, like, when he was first burnt alive, I mean, like, we didn't necessarily know what was going to happen next, really, or when he was going to come back. But, they did a good job as far as incorporating Alexa Bliss every week with Randy Orton. I feel like it was a pretty decent job. Were some weeks kind of like some of the others? Yeah, sure. But, like, obviously it was still keeping storyline going, still pushing forward. I'm still intrigued. I think a lot of people are still intrigued. And, I'm going to see what happens, man. I'm definitely pumped to see this match. What happens after that, I have no idea.
If Randy Orton wins this, I'm done. Fuck it. I'm done with Bray Wyatt altogether.
Yeah. I mean, like, I guess it really depends how he wins, though. Right? I mean,
no.
But
nope.
No, I mean, I guess you're right. No, Bray Wyatt definitely has to win this.
Moving on, what is your TV takedown for the week, my friend?
Well, I am going with AEW, Putty. I thought Dr. Britt Baker, cut one hell of a promo. She spoke some truth there about Tony Khan signing has-been legends. Those are her words, not mine. And that she's the real star of the show. She's showing time and time again, like, how damn good she is. Not necessarily just, like, in the ring, but on the mic, owning her character. I'm digging it, man. It's making me think, do they have the wrong woman holding the championship? Because I feel like at this point,
yes,
Britt Baker is the star of the show.
Been there for weeks now, yes. She needs a trap. Why is Red Velvet number one?
Is Red Velvet number one? I lose track of these rankings here.
I don't know how Britt Baker is.
I thought it was Ty Conti that was number one.
I don't see why anybody else would be number one but her. I don't know how those ratings work. She deserves at least a title opportunity. Yes, give her she's the face not only of the division but of that show.
Oh, dude, like she's just a natural at what she does. She looks like a champ. She talks like one. She acts like one. Like, you could form the whole women's division around her, and that's no disrespect to Shida. I think she's done a very good job as champion. She's held the strap now for God, how long now? And she's good at what she does, but there's a difference between being good at what you do and then being a star. And I feel like Britt Baker, she's a star, man. There's no denying it.
She's a pretty woman. She has a good look to her. Good in the ring, but like the character, I'm not clicking with. So yeah, you're right. It's just like, okay.
Oh, you're talking about Shida, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Something's not clicking. I don't necessarily know if that's maybe like her holding on to the strap for too long, or like, some of the rivalries were kind of misses that she's had. Like they didn't really do much to further her character.
Again, going back to what you said earlier, to my comment, it's not her fault. It's creative.
Right. And just,
she's a good champion, good worker.
And I think also, like, there's a difference between, like, again, being a good worker, being solid at what you do, and then being a star. Like, Britt Baker just has that it factor, like something along the lines of, like, what we've seen in WWE with, like, someone like Sasha Banks or Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair.
Bayley.
Bayley. like have that star factor. And I think Britt Baker, you look at all the women in that women's division there, I think Britt Baker definitely has that.
How is Bayley not at WrestleMania? Unbelievable.
That's another one, right? Unreal. Maybe they'll just throw in Charlotte versus Bayley.
Yeah. Did you see Mick Foley's clapback?
What did he say?
That stung.
No, I dug it, though. I dug Britt Baker taking those shots. So, I mean, she spoke a lot of truth. Not going to lie.
Yeah. A lot of washed-up has-beens in AEW.
I mean, I'm going to go as far as say, like, washed-up has-beens. But, like, I mean, listen, Tony Khan is definitely chasing the next legends, to build up their roster. He's got to focus on the stars that he has there. And Britt Baker is a huge star. I feel like that's being overlooked. And you mean to tell me with all the wrestling that's out there, they're not seeing her? I was like, hey, man, like, we could definitely use her on our roster.
Does she need the championship? Or the championship need her?
I feel like, ooh, good question, buddy.
Thank you.
I think a little bit of both. I think maybe a little bit more so with the second part, what you just said. Maybe the championship, I think, maybe needs her. I think the women's division needs her to be the champion right now. I think Britt Baker could have a lot of entertaining storylines, and a good run with that championship. Kind of like when Ric Flair, when he held the World Heavyweight Championship as a heel. It's someone that would be believable to beat, but will find a way to win every time and make you hate that person that much more. Like, that's the type of champion I see her as. And
again, like I said, I like Shida. Can't remember a promo she's ever cut.
Yes, agreed.
Like, okay,
agreed.
Is she even good on the mic? I can't remember even ever talking. Okay.
No. And honestly, I mean, Britt Baker, obviously a good-looking woman too, but it's not even about that. You give Britt Baker a mic, you're going to listen.
Hands down, yeah.
And you remember those promos. And I don't know, man. She just gets it. She gets the ring psychology. It's just like the looks in the camera when she's bleeding, both times. It just made headlines everywhere. She gets it. And I think someone like that, that's been putting to work time and time again in making your division and your company, I would dare say, relevant, because she's always trending at some point.
Yeah.
You have to give that person a reward at some point. You do.
Do you know who else is amazing on the microphone?
Who?
Her boyfriend. My takedown is the contract signing between Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole. Great mic work by Kyle O'Reilly, someone who I'm not too familiar with on the mic, but yet even better mic work by Adam Cole. And it was just that whole segment. The last couple weeks, they tried to give like a personal feel to it. Mission accomplished with this promo, this contract signing, whatever you want to call it. It was just amazing. Kyle O'Reilly did nothing wrong here. Okay, Adam Cole just being an asshole, and yet I am buying what he's selling.
Agreed, man. Agreed. I actually had this on my notes as well. Do you feel like Adam Cole and Britt Baker just practice promos off each other at the dinner table? Because that's what it seems like here. They're just on a whole other level. Adam Cole, yeah, you're right, man. I bought into what he was saying. He spoke with a lot of passion and intensity. I'm behind him. I want to see him win.
I don't think he's going to win here. Kyle O'Reilly wins. This is a launch pad to the main roster.
That was my next question, man. Obviously, I think it's a matter of time at this point. How soon is it going to happen? And where do you see him necessarily in the main roster? Not necessarily Raw or SmackDown, but like what level does he go to right away in the main roster?
Probably the mid-card title.
Right off the bat?
Yeah, I think the main event's a little too crowded right now. Let's get some breathing room. And maybe go for like a mid-card title. Either go against Riddle. Love to see that match for the U.S. title. Or Big E for the IC title, because I don't see Big E dropping it to him just yet. So, yeah, I think maybe give him Raw, mid-card title, rivalry with Riddle, maybe even win the U.S. Championship right away. But the future is bright for Adam Cole here, baby. There's nothing left for him doing NXT. He's done everything.
I'm going to have to disagree with you, buddy. I think I could see Adam Cole going to. I think he goes like around SummerSlam time. I could see it happening right around there at the main roster.
So he stays in NXT for the next couple months.
Possibly.
Okay.
Possibly.
Does what?
I give it under over. I say SummerSlam under over as far as when he goes to main roster. But
so I was thinking.
I think he goes to the main event spot pretty much right away.
I was thinking, what's even bigger than WrestleMania? The after Manias. The call-ups, the debuts. Okay, so he loses on Thursday, Friday night, and nothing left for him to do in NXT. He's done it all. The Undisputed Era is done. Nice, tied up the nice little bow. What other big debut from NXT is there?
Karrion Kross.
Hell yeah, man. Him losing, him going to the main event picture right away too. Maybe him feuding with.
I mean, who goes first? There's no way. There's no way Karrion Kross and Adam Cole go at the same time. I mean, like,
yeah, did 2 different shows.
That's a big loss for NXT, though. That's a huge loss for NXT if they both go at the same time.
Because what do you do, man? Because Karrion Kross will have the title for a while, but now do you have him stay in NXT for a while to fill out the run, or do you call him up on what the biggest call-up week of the year after Manias? You still have Finn Balor, you still have Pete Dunne, you still have other big names, and you can develop even bigger names coming from it.
And now they have Walter, it looks like.
For now, yeah.
For now. I don't know, man. Is Walter full-time in NXT, or is he just bouncing around from NXT UK to this?
He's bouncing around. He pre-taped a bunch of stuff for UK, and he came back here for WrestleMania season. Right.
So he's not even full-time in NXT. No. Like, again, I just see it as being a big 1-2 punch loss for NXT, and especially since they have their own nights on Tuesdays. I think they want to have someone big, maybe even build up LA Knight a little bit more.
You didn't say it right.
I'm sorry. You want to take that away, Putty?
LA Knight.
You're right. I mean, they do have Finn Balor. I don't think he's ever going to leave NXT anymore.
Kyle O'Reilly's still down there.
I'm sorry, who?
Kyle O'Reilly? Yeah.
He's not big. I feel like he's not a big enough name yet, though.
No, he has great chemistry, great rivalry going on with Finn Balor. What happened with Bobby Fish? What happened to him?
Sure, I don't know, but I mean, you're talking about guys who are very good, but again, not in the same level as Adam Cole and Karrion Kross. You know, they need to maintain some sort of star power, and build up a newer star to take the place of one of these guys. You know, you can't just have both those stars leaving 1-2 punch, which would be great for the main roster, but it would be horrible for NXT.
I think they got a plan. They don't call people up just for the whim of it. If they call people up, they got a replacement right away. So I think they'll be fine.
I think, honestly, at this point, I think Cole makes the most sense to go. I think maybe Kross does win the NXT championship and holds the strap for a little bit.
Yeah, give him his deserving title run. Yeah, right. If he doesn't call up, I won't be sad. Put it that way.
Right. I think Kross does wind up on the main roster at some point this year. Cole is definitely sooner rather than later, and he deserves that spot. And I could see him really tearing it up right away, like kind of like how Rhea Ripley's doing right now. Into when she made her debut, like pretty much, I don't know, maybe challenging for the championship right away, but like at least in that main event picture.
Did you watch NXT this week in full?
Yes.
Man, Shawn Michaels coming out with that ladder.
That was cool.
You don't need to say a word. You knew what was going on. I mean, great to see him. And then I think online or the Twitter, social media, you see there's some tension between Shawn Michaels and Adam Cole, baby. You never know.
I saw that on Twitter, man. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Shawn Michaels he has a lot. I think there's more of a chance William Regal versus Adam Cole happens than Shawn Michaels versus Adam Cole.
Yeah, because something they rarely do is after NXT went off the air, there was a rivalry. He punched William Regal in the face.
Right.
Continuing that storyline. So, man, I'm just looking forward to the call-ups and after Mania. I can't think of anybody else. I'm sure there's somebody in NXT we're not thinking of who can called up.
It's going to be one of the two. It's not going to be both.
It's got to be a woman, too.
I think maybe we see also the return of Chelsea Green.
Yeah, that won't be a surprising call-up. That's not going to be a big call. She's on the main roster
anyway. She's on the main roster, but I'm saying...
It won't be a call-up.
It'll be like a return, if you will. There's usually call-ups or returns, or both.
I like how she posted this past week. She was cleared. Or she was backstage on SmackDown last week, ready to make her 7th debut. At least she has a sense of humor about it.
Yeah, no, she's very good on social media. I love her social media work.
And she's killing it with whatever her and Mickie James are doing on social media. Have been following this storyline.
Yeah, following her. It's like a repeat of when Mickie James.
Oh, man. All in. Don't know what the fuck's going on there. I don't know if it's personal storyline based, but I'm following that to a T.
It'll be interesting, man. It'll be. Listen, if we want someone on TV, it'll be great to see Mickie James come back. And I expect big things for Chelsea Green. She's a good talent.
Agreed. Anything else for TV, my friend?
That's all I got, my friend.
Let's get into some Golem thoughts. What do you have for me this week?
Well, Putty, actually, by the time this show airs, it'll have already come out. I was actually involved with another virtual play to honor Women's History Month with new women playwrights. It was with Spark Creative Works. I did a one-act play called A Feminist Revolutionist History of Rosemary's Baby by Lauren Gorski. It was a fun time, though. I reconnected with an old actor friend that I used to do community theater with in Long Island. She asked me to do this. And I was like, yeah, totally. Like, my schedule's open. Sounds like a fun show. Would love to act with her again. So, yeah, it's going to be up on the website. I should probably have it on my website as well. They could check it out there, yourfavoriteactor.com for more information.
Great. Can't wait. How are you liking these virtual plays as opposed to like real plays? Is there less pressure? You're being not live in front of an audience?
Okay, so both are very different. The one that I just talked about, we kind of did it a little bit more like TV and film. Like, we stopped, cut, yada yada. We did shit like that. We had our own backdrops and everything. The other one, The Little Dog Laughed, how we did it, we ran it all the way through as if it was a play. I actually had the same energy as I would for like a real live play, because it was just we're going live. You mess up, you go with it. And sometimes that happened.
It wasn't live. You recorded it, right? It wasn't like
we
live.
Recorded it. Yeah. We recorded it. So that's being pieced together to look nice and to be put out. We don't have a date yet for that, but it was ran very differently. But again, it's over Zoom, so it's a lot of different things you have to work off with there. Like, it's different. It's weird. I'll tell you, man. I can't wait to like go back to like regular, normal acting.
Can't wait to go back to regular, normal life.
Same.
2 weeks, I'll get my second shot, and I'll be one step ahead. But it's just like, what's the new normal going to be? I don't know.
Or you have more of a normal life than I do, man. Shit.
I don't see masks going away anytime soon, though.
No. I think masks actually, but part of me actually thinks it might be a permanent thing.
I don't see permanent, but it could be like a couple of years, yeah.
Yeah. I have one friend that said, like, dude, he hopes the masks stay. Like, he's never gotten sick yet. Like, he's just
I think
healthier in a way.
Talk to you. I don't know if it was you last week or a coworker last week, but like, you see, the flu isn't really a thing this year.
No,
masks,
I think a lot more people got vaccinated too, though.
Masks, social distancing works.
I'm not really a flu shot guy. I never really got one because I personally hate needles, and I'm not like an anti-vax or anything. I just don't like needles.
Neither do I. And
like, the flu never really bothered me. I never really, if I got it, whatever. I didn't really pay much mind to it. But this past year, I'd say like I made it a point to get my flu shot because of all the shit that's going out there right now. So I'm pretty sure I'm not in a minority in that category. I think more people got their flu shots than normal. And you're right. I think, the mask helped, the whole washing your hands
amazing,
more.
Right?
And, yeah.
It's amazing.
And yeah, you hardly heard anything about the flu this year. So I don't know, man. The world's definitely never going back to what it was before. It's going to be different, but I just can't wait to go with some sort of sense of normal. Not this. What I've been living into. I've been bunkered up in Westchester for over a year now. Like, I'm going crazy.
I don't know about you, but I feel more comfortable sitting ringside at a wrestling event knowing I'm fully inoculated than I would like 3 months ago. At least it gives the vaccine. Well, it's not 100% effective, but at least give me some sort of peace of mind.
Well, I'm actually seeing my parents for the first time this year, come Easter weekend. So I'm pumped for that because they're getting their vaccine, their second shot, before I'm able to see them. So like it's going to be a very, very good moment, man. So that gives me a lot of hope. The fact that I'm able to see them, possibly even give them a hug.
Yeah,
like it's just it gives me a lot more hope.
I got the Pfizer shot, and all I heard was people getting sick after the second dose. But then a couple days before my first shot, and on the way to my shot, my cab driver included, they're telling me people have gotten the Pfizer second shot and were fine. So it's just like a flip of the coin for me now. I'm like, all right, I was expecting to get sick. Now I'm like, let's see what happens.
I think that's all really you can do. I mean, prepare for the worst, hope for the best.
Pretty much. But speaking of the new normal, since the show started, I've had a handful of people tell me that Monday morning, their commute to work, their tradition is listening to Shot of Wrestling.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Friends of mine, which you believe, but then going these shows, people come up to me and go, "Oh, you're from Shot of Wrestling? I've listened to your show Monday morning on my way to work." Unprovoked, just come up to tell me that. That's why it's important for me to post a show Sunday night so people have it ready for Monday morning. Right. Now I've been thinking the last couple of months is like people's commute to work now is from their bed to their couch.
Right.
So I'm wondering if you're listening to my voice now, or our voices now, in episode 249, like when do you listen to the show? I'm curious, when do people listen to the show? Because as a podcast guy who used to listen to podcasts, I listen to it at night when I go to bed.
Weird. Okay.
Helps me go to sleep. Whatever. So I'm like, when do people listen to the show? Let us know, because there's no Monday morning commute anymore. You'll dial it up, 619-343-3005. Text us. Hit us up on our social medias. I'm just curious, when do you guys listen to the show? Because there's no Monday morning commute anymore. And it doesn't seem like there's going to be one anytime soon. So,
no, there will be this year. I think it's going to happen.
Some of us have been curious about. So let us know. Mark, where can people find you?
Well, as I mentioned before, you can find me at yourfavoriteactor.com. All my social media links are on there.
And your interview with Brother Greatness will be available?
My interview with Brother Greatness will be available on Shot of Wrestling's YouTube page, Tuesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
So thank you, Brother Greatness, for your time. I've been your host, at Michael J. Putty. Until next week, Putty out.
Hey, baby, I hear the bell ringing, hip tosses and body slams. Oh, my. And maybe you seem a bit confused. Yeah, baby, but I got you pinned. Ha, 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 ha. But I don't know what to do when I see them with that golden case. They're cashing it in. Authority all in my face. What is a man to do? Good night, everybody.